Have you ever met someone who dreams really big, talks about success, money, freedom, but never actually does anything about it? Or maybe you've seen that pattern in yourself. This is the psychology of people who dream big, but stay stuck. At first, dreaming big feels powerful. You imagine your future life, success, recognition, financial freedom. It gives you a rush of excitement. In fact, your brain doesn't fully distinguish between imagining success and actually achieving it. So when you visualize your dream life, your brain releases a small amount of dopamine, the same chemical linked to reward, and that's where the trap begins. Because instead of working for the reward, you start feeling rewarded just by thinking about it. You get the emotional satisfaction without the effort. So the brain quietly learns, why work hard when imagining feels good enough? This is called mental reward substitution, and it's one of the biggest reasons people stay stuck. Now let's go deeper. People who dream big often have strong desires but weak systems. They rely on motivation instead of structure. Motivation is emotional. It comes and goes. One day you feel inspired, the next day nothing. Without systems, routines, discipline, clear steps, dreams remain ideas, not actions. Another hidden factor is fear, not just fear of failure, but fear of success. Because success brings responsibility, pressure, and change. When your life changes, your identity has to change too, and the brain resists that. So instead of moving forward, people procrastinate. They delay, they plan, they say, I'll start tomorrow, but tomorrow keeps moving. This leads to something called self-handicapping. It's when people create excuses to protect their self-image. If they never try seriously, they never have to face the possibility of failing. So they stay in a safe zone of dreaming, where everything is possible, but nothing is tested. There's also the illusion of progress. Talking about goals, watching motivational videos, planning, feels like moving forward, but it's not the same as action. The brain gets tricked again. It feels productive without producing results. And over time, this creates frustration, because deep down they know they're not moving, but instead of changing behavior, they double down on dreaming. Another powerful factor is identity conflict. Someone might say, I want to be successful, but internally they don't see themselves as disciplined, focused, or consistent. So their actions don't match their goals, and when identity and behavior don't align, behavior always loses. Now let's talk about comfort. Taking action is uncomfortable. It involves uncertainty, mistakes, and effort. But dreaming is safe. No risk, no failure, no judgment. So the brain prefers staying in imagination rather than facing reality. And slowly, dreaming becomes an escape, not a plan. Over time, this creates a cycle. Dream, feel good, avoid action, feel guilty, dream again, and the loop continues. So how do people break out of this? First, they stop relying on motivation. They build systems, small, consistent actions, repeated daily. Not big, dramatic changes, because real progress is boring. Second, they reduce the gap between thinking and doing. Instead of planning for hours, they take one simple step immediately. Action breaks overthinking. Third, they shift identity. Instead of saying, I want to be successful, they start saying, I'm someone who takes action daily, and then they prove it with small wins. Because identity is built through evidence, not imagination. And finally, they accept discomfort. They understand that growth doesn't feel good in the moment. It feels uncertain. It feels hard. But that's the price of real change. So if you find yourself dreaming big, but not moving, ask yourself one question. Am I addicted to the idea of success or committed to the process? Because those are two very different mindsets. One keeps you stuck, the other changes your life.